Most people know that the thyroid affects metabolism, but what many people don't realize is that the thyroid hormones also influence our bone health. If thyroid hormone levels are too low or too high, they can change how quickly your bones break down and rebuild. Today, I want to explain the thyroid bone connection and what you can do to support healthy thyroid function. My name is Mary Sheila Gonnella. I'm a board-certified holistic nutritionist and Ayurvedic educator. For nearly 2 decades, I've been helping midlife women and men understand how hormones, nutrition, and daily rhythms influence long-term health. When we talk about bone health, it's important to remember that bones are living tissue. Your bones are constantly balancing two processes, breaking down and rebuilding. It's constant, and even at the center of your bones is your bone marrow, which is the birthplace of your immune cells. The thyroid hormone helps regulate the speed of this remodeling process. So just to be all on the same page, your thyroid gland is right here, and it's actually like a butterfly-shaped gland. And if you think about butterflies, right, they are very fragile, right? Their wings are very fragile. So the thyroid is similar in that way. It is a fragile endocrine gland, and it's very susceptible to environmental toxicity. So, being mindful of the foods that we're eating and, the air that we're breathing and the water that we're drinking, just, the chemicals that are in our environment, it is more sensitive to that. And there's also a couple parathyroid glands that are connected to the thyroid gland as well. And that helps regulate our calcium. And I'll talk about that in the next video. But what the thyroid gland does and where it sits right here, I like to say it sort of sits at the helm of the metabolism. The thyroid gland produces hormones that really do regulate metabolism through the body. And these hormones influence our energy production, our temperature regulation. So you might know sometimes when people have low thyroid, they're cold all the time, or sometimes if it's hyperthyroid, they're hot. And so our metabolism in general is ruled by the thyroid and the rate of cellular turnover. And bone tissue is part of that cellular turnover and that system. So thyroid hormones help regulate how quickly bone cells are broken down and replaced. When thyroid hormone levels become elevated, a condition called hyperthyroidism, bone turnover speeds up. Bones may begin to break down faster than they can rebuild, right? So there's more osteoclast breaking down activity than osteoblast. And over time, this can lead to reduced bone density. Well, what if thyroid levels are too low? Low thyroid function, or hypothyroidism, can also affect bone health. When metabolism slows, because of thyroid not being able to kind of get into the cell and do its job and the body not responding to it, many reasons for that, every cell becomes a little bit more sluggish, right? That's why people feel cold and feel more tired and maybe feel more constipated and they can't burn fat. So when the metabolism slows, the body's ability to repair and rebuild bone can slow as well. Low thyroid function may also influence other hormones involved in bone health, including estrogen and cortisol. This is one reason thyroid function is often evaluated when somebody has low bone density. It's like, okay, you have low bone density, let's look at your thyroid function. This is also why it's great to look at thyroid function when you're going through menopause or perimenopause and you start feeling really tired and off. Sometimes just that shift in all the hormones can kind of reveal the thyroid being a little bit off, right? And you can get that fixed. Sometimes it could be nourishing the thyroid, sometimes it could be taking a thyroid hormone, but it's essential to make sure the thyroid is working well, right? Because it's affecting every cell in the body. So let's talk about, kind of in that vein, how we can support the body. So the first to know is this little sensitive butterfly has some very specific nutritional requirements. So we want to support the thyroid with key thyroid nutrients, and we want to do that through food. The thyroid relies on several nutrients to function well. I'm just going to give you a few. I teach a lot about this in the Vitality Club. But the first is iodine. We can get that from sea vegetables and seafood. So just consuming some seafood, I would say not necessarily taking kelp capsules, but eating seafood, maybe some sea vegetables is a great way to ensure that you're getting iodine. It's also protective against breast cancer, iodine in the body. It's an essential nutrient as well. Selenium from Brazil nuts and fish, and that's an antioxidant to the thyroid gland. And you can eat 2 Brazil nuts a day to get enough selenium. Zinc, you can get that from oysters if you're an oyster lover. You might not eat oysters every day, so you can also eat pumpkin seeds and shellfish. Then there's tyrosine from protein-rich foods like eggs and poultry and beans. These nutrients help support the body's natural hormone production. The other thing, and I sort of alluded this earlier, that you can do to support the thyroid is periodic thyroid testing. These are tests like TSH or free T4 and sometimes free T3. There's a lot to know about all the different kinds of thyroid hormones, but if you get yourself tested, your doctor can often see, what if you do have low thyroid, and then you can even do more follow-up testing, and you can even see if you have a autoimmune condition of the thyroid, which is one of the most common forms of thyroid dysfunction, which would be more of an autoimmune disease. So that's going to be treated a little bit different. When you get tested, you can identify thyroid imbalances. So if you experience symptoms such as fatigue, hair thinning, or cold sensitivity, or unexplained weight changes, it may be very helpful to elevate your thyroid function. Thyroid hormone is one of the key hormones that influence bone strength. In fact, there are 5 hormones that determine whether your bones are in a building state or in a breakdown state. I've created a free guide called The 5 Hormones That Influence Bone Strength After 40. It explains these hormones and the steps you can take to support your bones through nutrition and daily habits. You can download the guide below. And if you found this helpful, subscribe, because I'll be sharing more ways to support your bones and all the other ways you can age with grace, with vitality, with strength, and really for your health span to meet your lifespan. So we live a certain amount of time, and we hope that we have health for as long as we can. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.